兄弟姊妹平安。
Brothers and sisters, peace.
咱今日要来看诗篇139篇，
Today we will read Psalms 139
咱要对第5节看到12节，
from verses 5 to 12,
然后17节、18节。
then 17 and 18.
詩篇139篇第5節，你伫我的前後為說我，安手伫我身頂，這樣的知識奇妙，是我袂測度，指權是我袂達到的。我用倒落去逃避你的靈，我要用倒落逃避你的面。我若升到天頂，你伫遐；我若落到陰間下達，你也伫遐。我若展開清神的舌鼓，爬到海極基主，就是伫遐，你的手必引帶我，你的正手必扶持我。我若講黑暗必定掠爬我，我周圍的亮光必成為暗暝。黑暗也袂會掠爬我，互你袂會看去。暗暝卻親像日子發光。黑暗甲光明，伫你攏是一樣的。第17節、18節，神啊，你的意念向我頭頂的寶貴，基礎頭頂的正道。我若鎖點比海沙佫較多，我困醒的時陣，靈甲你同在。兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and
咱
sisters,
今日是要繼續講到咱以往拜四所講的信息。
we will continue to share the message that we have shared in the past Thursdays.
拜四我講到無所不知的神，
On Thursday, I've shared about an omniscient
伊
God.
知影攏總，
He knows
咱
everything.
的思想伊
Our
總知
thoughts,
影，
He knows everything.
然後咱未講出來話伊也知影咯。
And the words, before we speak them, He already knows them.
今日要講到無所不知的神，
Today, I'm going to share about an omnipresent God.
無論佇倒落，伊佇遐。
Wherever it is, He's there.
咱來看第一，
Let us look at point 1.
基你袂會互咱佇遐躲避神啊。
Distance can never make us flee God.
第7節，
In verse 7,
我用倒落去躲避你的靈，用倒落去要躲避你的面。
where can I go from your spirit, or where can I flee from your presence?
即我若升去天頂的時陣，你佇遐；
If I ascend into heaven, you are there.
我若落到陰間下達的時陣，你也佇遐。
If I make my bed in hell, you are there.
所以就同咱講，咱無能躲避咱的神。
Here it says that we cannot flee from our God.
咱知影約拿，
We know Jonah.
神要遷徙到尼尼微城去，
The Lord wants to send him to
伊
Nineveh,
無要啊！
but he is not
你會
willing.
看到約拿曲起來，
We can see that Jonah rose up
逃往他是要躲避耶和華。
and went to the direction of Tarshish to flee from God.
因為坐船的時陣，
When he went aboard the ship,
聖經甲船頂的人一同往他是去躲避耶和華。
the Bible recorded that he went on board with the other people on ship to flee from God.
但是伊無能躲避耶和華，
But he cannot flee from God.
無論去海內咯，
Wherever, even if inside the
啊
sea,
神也是佇遐。
God is still there.
佇魚的腹肚內，神也是佇遐。
Even inside the belly of the fish, God is there.
第9節，
In verse 9,
我若點開我嘅清神誒舌歌啊，
If
爬
I-
到海極基主，
if I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea,
就是佇遐你嘅手要引帶我，
even there your hand will lead me,
你嘅正手要扶持我。
your right hand will lift me.
兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and
距
sisters,
離無法通叫咱躲避神。
distance cannot make us flee from God.
啊，這個對咱啊神嘅兒女啊，是一個真安慰嘅一句話。
For us, the children of God, this brings comfort.
無論咱去個落嘅時陣，伊會同在佇遐隨着咱。
Wherever we go, His presence goes with us.
你會看講耶利米書23章24節，
You can see in Jeremiah 23:24.
即耶和華講啊，人減話佇遐隱密處佇遐藏伊嘅身體嘛，
God said, "Can anyone hide himself in secret places
互我佫遐，互我看袂見伊呢？
that I cannot see him?"
耶和華講，
The Lord said,
我減無充滿天地嘛，
Do I not feel heaven and earth?
你看咱神啊，这位无所不在的神是充满天地。
You can see that our omnipresent God fills the whole earth.
你無論去到落一地下
Wherever you go, He's there.
，David Livingstone 做嘅僕人，
The servant of God, David
你
Livingstone,
講說伊到樹林真深嘅樹林內面啊，
he said when he goes into the depths of the jungle,
伊感覺到神嘅同在。
he can still feel the presence of God.
兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and
我
sisters,
不入去真深嘅樹林內面，
I've been into the depths of a jungle.
嗰度 GPS 啊，
We had GPS.
開嗰個 GPS 真無法啊，
When we turn on our GPS, it cannot track us
上
down.
嘅最樹，
There were too many trees
無法通地下 contact 啊。
that the contact is lost.
所以啊，你會看到講說，但神啊講說，伊哋像也 David Livingstone 經歷到伊哋真深嘅樹林內面，伊感覺到神嘅同在。
And yet, David Livingstone, even while he was in the heart of the jungle, he was able to feel the presence of God.
所以拄着真多危險啊！
He encountered many danger.
但底下你會看到安全唔是無有危險呢，
But we know that safety is not the absence of danger,
乃是有神嘅同在。
but the presence of God.
然後你會看第五，咱嚟看第五節。
In verse 5,
你伫我前後為設我，安手伫我身頂。
you hedged me behind and before and laid your hand upon me.
這個是你會看到神底下嘅寶貝。
This we can see the preciousness of
我
God.
底下一底下，我伫前後啊，底下為設咱。
He is before and behind us, surrounding
然
us,
後伊手就點樣按伫咱嘅身頂，
and his hand is upon us.
有啥物佫較穩固啊？
What is more secure than this?
有啥物佫較安全？
What is more safe than this?
兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and
這是咱嘅
sisters,
神。
this is our God.
然後伊伊個第十節有講，
In verse 10, he also said,
但是就是啊，一啲啊，就是就是伫遐嘅時陣，你嘅手伫遐要引帶我，
even there your hand shall lead me,
你嘅正手伫遐要扶持我。
your right hand shall hold me.
這頭人看到神引帶嘅手叫扶持嘅手啊，
Here it shows us the hand that leads us and that holds us.
神引帶以色列去到耶路撒冷要重建聖殿。
The Lord led Ezra in building the temple.
伫遐你會看到說，聖經一直講說，神是阮嘅手伫遐幫贊。
The Bible has recorded many times the gracious hand of God helping them.
尼希米也是安尼，
Nehemiah was the same.
神引帶伊去重建城牆嘛，
The Lord-
修理城牆啊，
The Lord led him to restore the city gates.
也是一直在講一句話，
It was repeatedly
我
said,
神是阮嘅手伫遐幫贊。
it was the gracious hand of God that helped us.
所以你會看到講說，神引帶下面，
So you can see that in the leading of God,
神嘅手伫遐。
the hand of God is there.
神常常會引帶咱啊，
The Lord always leads us
做做下代志，
to do some things,
伫遐來服侍。
to minister.
但你會看到講神引帶你嘅時陣，
You can see that when God leads you,
你會看到講神嘅手伫遐咧扶持啊。
you can see that it was the hand of God that holds
有
you.
時你會覺得真鮮，
Sometimes you feel tired,
但是你會感覺講說，神嘅手伫遐，
yet you feel the hand of God being there.
神嘅恩典夠也咱用，
God's grace is sufficient for
一定
us,
咧喺咱嘅軟弱頂顯得完全。
for His power is made perfect in our
所以你會
weaknesses.
看到講說，神引帶有神嘅手伫遐咧扶持，
So you
咧幫
can,
贊。
so you can see that in God's leading, there is the hand of God that holds us and helps us.
啊，第二，
Second,
不管咱嘅情況如何，神也是伫遐。
regardless of what our situation is, God is there.
第八節。
In verse 8,
我若升到天頂，你伫遐；我若落佇陰間下達，你也伫遐。
if I ascend into heaven, you are there. And if I make my bed in hell, you are there.
大衛咧講在話時陣，
When David was speaking these
是
things,
咧講好似咧講一個比喻那定，
it seems like he's just speaking
唔
figuratively.
是有影伊爬到天頂去啊，
It is not true that he can ascend into heaven
要落到陰間啊。
or go to the hell.
我真是突然講嘛，
Here
突然
it-
突然看，
Here it shows us
我若落，我是升到天頂去嘅時陣，
when I ascend into
你
heaven,
伫遐。
you are there.
講咱做啲歡喜嘅時陣啊，
It speaks of the happiest moment of our
神
lives.
伫遐。
God is there.
我咱應該甲神啊，共享啊，伫遐咱嘅喜樂啊。
That we can enjoy our joy with God.
我是講說咱真歡喜嘅時陣，
when we are at our happiest,
咱我通甲神講啊，
we can tell our God,
神啊多謝你，
Lord, thank you
同我有這個經歷，
that you gave me this
經歷這個
experience,
喜樂啊。
to experience this joy.
我哋我通講神講咱嘅喜樂。
We can tell the Lord our joy.
刷落去講說，當我伫遐落到陰間下大時，你也伫遐。
Then it says that if I make my bed in hell, you are there.
啊，這是講到一種嗬，伊講出伊最第什麼悲傷嘅時陣，
It speaks of his painful
亦
moments.
者講是心靈最沉重嘅時陣，神也是伫遐嘛。
Or at the lowest moment of his spirit, God is also there.
這約拿嘅經歷，
The experience of
你
Jonah,
係看約拿二章第二節，
when you look at Jonah chapter 2, verse 2,
約拿同神講：我做過啊，我做過這個艱難啊，求救耶和華。
Jonah told the Lord, when I encountered this affliction, I called out to you,
你就應允我。
and you answered me.
刷落去啊，對陰間嘅深處呼求，你就俯聽哦，我嘅伫遐我嘅聲音啊。
He said that out of the belly of Sheol I cried, and you heard my
意
voice.
思是講，你會看到講是最深啊！伊講說，伊會用這個這個陰間嘅深處啊，
It says, in the depths of hell,
哦，伫遐，神伫遐，
God is there.
神聽起伊嘅祈禱啊，
God heard his
兄弟
prayers.
姊妹，
Brothers and
咱
sisters,
生活啊，
in our lives,
每一個方面啊，
in every aspect of it,
神伫遐，
God is there.
我所以啊，你歡喜，你快樂。
So in joys and
哦，
happiness,
你真哦，你高興嘅時陣啊，你真沉重嘅時陣，
when you are at your highest point of
你
joy,
咧掛意嘅時陣，
and when you are
你
worried,
咧驚嘅時
when
陣，
you are afraid,
你叫做神伫遐。
remember God is there.
你看到講說啊，神伫遐嘅腹肚內咧聽約拿嘅祈禱啊，
You can see that God was hearing the prayer of Jonah at the belly of the fish.
神無放鬆咱。
The Lord does not forsake us.
嚟看第三，
Let us look at point 3.
黑暗袂為你阿伯，咱啊脫離神啊。
Darkness cannot hide us from God.
第11節、12節，
In verses 11 and 12,
我若講黑暗必定掠爬我周圍嘅亮光必成為黑暗。
if I say, surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me.
黑暗也袂為掠爬我。
Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you,
互你袂看去啊！
that you cannot see.
哦，即暗暝嘅時陣啊，你必親像日子發亮，
The darkness and the light are alike to you, and they shine as day.
黑暗甲亮光，佇你看攏是一樣啊！
Darkness and light are the same to you.
兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and sisters,
這個是一個警告，
this is a warning.
這個是一個安慰。
This is also a comfort,
你警告講說，咱茫響佇遐亂事來，
warning us that we must not act haphazardly.
哦，咱毋通七做八做，
We
咱
must not do things foolishly,
毋通做得罪神
and
嘅代志，
we must not do things that offend God,
因為神佇遐。
because God is there.
哦，咱知影講說，佇約翰3章20節。
In John 3:20,
凡作惡嘅，哦，佇遐變昏光啊，
for those who practice evil hates the light
變毋來就君，又來就光啊，
and do not come to light,
恐怕伊嘅行為受責備。
lest his deeds would be
哦，
exposed.
所以你看到講說，人為什麼哦佇暗暝、佇暗嘅所在咧做哦咧作惡？
So we can see that how is it that man in darkness does evil deeds?
啊，問題是世人因為家己嘅行為哦是惡嘅，
Because they know that man, his deeds are evil,
所以無要光，
so they hated the light
都佇遐聽黑暗。
and wanted to be in darkness.
定因嘅做就是這個，要定因嘅做就是這個。
So this would condemn their sin.
咱知影第7月1977年
We know that in July 1977,
，New York 忽然間一個真哦都係 blackout 啊，
there was a huge blackout in New York.
哦啲暗蒙蒙啊，
There was total darkness.
到暗暝嘅時陣啊，
When nighttime came,
人就是去哦，在北公司咯，我點來咯，攏係弄破，衝破因嘅門去逃脫，
they destroyed malls and department stores and looted it.
就是暗暝佇遐咧做。
They did that at night.
你看到講說，迄時陣啊，所了嘅吼，攏總是1 million 嘅美金。
We can see that the loss amounted to $1 billion US dollars.
然後你看到講說報紙有暗暝嘅報紙咯，
And then there was also a newspaper that is released at night.
咱等下做 tabloid 嘛，
There are many
叫
tabloids.
是暗暝嘅 tabloid。
Those are nightly
啊，為
tabloids.
什麼啊？
Why is this so?
因為因暗暝有人為到一個消息，
Because at night they are able to obtain some kind of news.
但你若看嘅時陣啊，這是什麼啊？這是賊頭啦、豺狼啦，哦，安尼跩歹嘅消息，
When you look at it, these are sensational news of murders and robberies.
你係啲是咩？
Brothers and
我
sisters,
哋暗暝無法通哋來抓白啦。
darkness cannot hide us.
所以人一直講說，因要圖暗暝來壓冚因嘅罪，
So they wanted darkness to cover their sins,
壓冚因嘅惡行，
to cover their wicked
但
deeds.
是也無法得。
But it is not possible.
神講說暗暝黑暗及陽光，啲像是你攏是一樣嘅。
It says that darkness and light are the same to you.
有的人驚暗暝啊，
Some people are afraid of the dark,
有的驚暗，但人先驚暗。
or they are afraid of the dark.
我係記得我去探一個人嘅是一個福音朋友啊，
I remember we visited a gospel friend.
伊袂做禁氣，
He cannot turn off the
伊
lights
禁氣嘅時陣啊，隨時直驚。
because he started to be afraid whenever he turns off the light.
人感謝主信主了後，
But thank God, after he believed in
如果人
God,
禁氣，
he's able to turn off the
先好
lights
困。
and he can sleep
我
well.
所以你講說有的人就是會驚暗啊，
So you can see that some people are afraid of night.
因為你知道神啊是無所不在啊，
Our God is omnipresent.
你記啲黑暗嘅時陣一直遐，
In darkness, he's there.
你光明伊也是佇遐。
In light, he is also there.
第18節，
In verse
即係
18,
我困醒嘅時陣，靈及你同在啊。
when I awake, you are still with me.
意思是講說，你不知不覺啊，
It means that unconsciously,
神佇遐。
God is there.
你咧困嘅時陣，
When you are sleeping,
神佇遐。
God is there.
我講說，你困，你唔知影半項咯，
When you are asleep and you are not aware of anything,
神佇遐呐。
God is there.
所以詩人講說，我困醒嘅時陣，仍然及你同在啊。
So the psalmist said, when I awake, I am still with you.
這個是對着咱盡在基督徒也是會驚鬼啊，
This is for those many Christians who are still afraid of ghosts.
咱無啥物通驚。
There is nothing to fear.
神叫人同在，
God is with us.
神袂離開咱。
God will not leave us.
黑暗及亮光，佇神嘅面前攏是一樣啊。
Darkness and light are the same in God.
咱咧困，伊及咱同在啊。
When we sleep, He is with us.
所以大衛講說，我醒嘅時陣，靈及你同在。
So David said, when I awake, I'm still with you.
然後第四，
Then fourth,
神嘅無所不在，對咱及咱有啥物關係啊？
what is the relationship of God's omnipresence with us?
咱看詩篇139篇
When we
17節。
let us look at Psalms 139, verse 17.
神啊，你嘅意念向我何等嘅寶貴，
How precious are your thoughts to me, O God.
基礎底下何等嘅眾多啊，真眾多啊。
How great is the sum of them.
第18節，
In verse
我若
18,
數點啊，比海沙佫較多。
if I count them, there would be more in number than the number of sand.
兄弟姊妹，
Brothers and sisters,
當大衛講這句話嘅時陣，
when David said these
你
words,
看到講說，會對着這位無所不在嘅神，種嘅關係啊。
so you can see the relationship of David with this omnipresent God.
神係你偉大啊！
God is so great.
我係講啲意念何等係咩？何等係寶貴。
Your thoughts are
你
precious.
看到我嘅神，你何等係偉大。
You can see that God is so great.
你看到神嘅偉大嘅時陣來激發啊！伊係什麼啊？伊對神嘅尊敬及敬畏啊！
Seeing the greatness of God moves David to change his perspective of worship towards God.
哦，letter B，伊同你看到 inspire 嘅 reverence 啊！
It inspired
我
reverence
哋嗰一項導因會點敬畏神，
that make them in awe of God,
嚟敬畏，
to
嚟敬畏神
respect God.
所以你會看到講說，當你看到神嘅偉大嘅時陣，
So when you see God's greatness,
伊袂做講說無尊敬伊啊！
you cannot but have reverence for Him.
然後看到神無論一直直到落，
And you can see wherever He is,
咱袂做無敬畏伊啊
we cannot but worship Him.
，fear him。
or fear Him.
所以咱就好敬畏咱的神。
So we have to revere and fear our God.
然後詩篇139篇，
And Psalms 139,
這篇是關於神啊，
this is about God.
而且是無寫講說咱神何等嘅願意甲人親近啊。
It didn't say here that God is so much willing to be near to us.
好，你若直直讀嘅時陣啊，
If you continue
你
reading
讀幾落篇，
and you read it a number of
你唔是
times,
伫遐咧定人嘅罪呢？
He's not condemning man's
伊
sin.
是直接要互人看起講說神何等嘅愛甲人親近啊。
He wanted to say that God longs to be with man.
咱就是講神啊，我真愛親近主哦，
It
我真親近你哦。
It says, or God, I really want to be near you.
但是神真愛親近咱啊。
But God wants to be near us.
這詩篇139篇所描寫嘅。
This is what Psalms 139 depicts.
然後第一，我通增加咱嘅信心。
And it would add up our faith.
我知影講說神給咱同在，
We know that God is with us.
咱有法通做人所袂會做。
We are able to do what man cannot.
神同在時陣，
When God is with us,
你看到講說，我通托這個摩西力量來帶領以色列人出埃及。
we can have the strength that allowed Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt,
就力量來經過曠野。
to give him the strength to endure the wilderness.
約書亞是安尼，
Joshua was the same.
伫遐伊伫遐，神給伊同在，
When God was with him,
伊有膽量伫遐拍耶利哥城。
he had the bravery to fight Jericho.
然後迦南隊一族一族伫遐來，跟伫遐來拍一族一族嘛。
And he was able to overpower them tribe by tribe,
伫遐團得勝。
that they are succeeding.
所以你會看到講說，神同在，互咱信心。
We know that God's presence can inspire faith in us.
盼望啊，伫遐兄弟姊妹，
I hope, brothers and
咱會
sisters,
看見一位無所不在嘅神。
we would be able to see this omnipresent God.
然後講無所不在嘅神啊，我哋第一改變咱對着敬拜嘅形式啊嘅觀念。
So this omnipresent God will enable us to change our perspective of the way we worship God.
咱這次雖然伫遐被封城咧，
Even if now we are under quarantine,
有時無法通聚會，
some people cannot join church
但
meetings,
你會記得，
but you must remember,
神是無所不在啊！
God is omnipresent.
你是你嘅所在，
You are in your
有的
place.
老人家一個，
Some senior people are alone,
有的夫婦兩個一出來，
or some couples are locked in their
因有
houses.
法通伫遐來敬拜這位神。
They can worship this God.
伫遐，咱唔是講說只有來到會所才有法通敬拜，
It doesn't say that if we are here in church, that's the only time we can worship.
因有影伫教會內面嘅敬拜也是真重要。
It's true that the worship in the church is vital,
所以大衛講說，我要甲點樣，就證明啊，伫你嘅會中啊，伫遐甲一眾信徒一同伫遐來敬拜。
that is why David said that I will worship you in your temple amidst your people.
所以啊，甲兄弟姊妹敬拜真重要。
So worshiping with brothers and sisters is important.
但是咱這次封城嘅時陣，
But because of this
你
quarantine,
就會記得神是無所不在。
God is omnipresent.
你有時你徛起來，你要坐咧，你徛起來，你夾你嘅手，
You can stand up, raise up your
你
hands,
伫遐，感謝神，
and thank the Lord.
感謝主，
Thank God.
伫遐，讚美主，
Praise God
來敬拜主。
and worship
你
God.
試看覓，
Try this.
你有法通經歷到神嘅同在。
You can experience the presence of God.
伫遐，雖然你家一個，有時你兩個使安尼，神甲咱同在。
Even if you are alone or just 2 or 3, God is with you.
所以後講話說，咱有法通，雖然神是無所不在啊，
In conclusion, even if God is
咱
omnipresent,
有法通隨時隨處甲伊交通，
we are able to interact with Him anytime, anywhere.
這是一個真重要。
This is very important.
保羅講帖撒羅尼迦教會伫遐勉勵，
Paul encouraged the church in Thessalonica
伫帖撒羅尼迦前書5章17節，
in 1 Thessalonians 5:7,
17節，
17
伊講說不住嘅禱告，
to pray without ceasing,
無停嘅祈禱。
to pray unceasingly.
咱有通無停嘅祈禱嘛？
We can pray
你
unceasingly.
無論去到倒落，你有通祈禱，
Wherever you go, you can pray
因為神伫遐。
because God is there.
你講我上到最高嘅天頂，我伫遐，又我通敬拜讚美呢。
If I ascend into the highest heaven, I can still worship and praise.
我對啲陰間啊，我伫遐較大啲陰間嘅伫遐，也是我通讚美。
I can still praise even in the depths of hell
因為你伫遐，
because you are there.
所以兄弟姊妹，
So, brothers and
這
sisters,
不主嘅禱告，
this praying unceasingly,
咱我通一直伫遐來實現，
we can do it
因為神是無所不在。
because God is
你
omnipresent.
喺車內面，
In your car,
你伫遐祈禱，
you can pray,
你無論喺菜館，
or in
無
restaurants,
論喺病院，
or in
無
hospitals,
論喺厝內，
or at home,
無論你做工嘅所在，
or in your
你
workplace,
我通伫遐祈禱，
you can pray
因為咱神是無所不在。
because our God is omnipresent.
伫遐我通激發咱，鼓勵咱，伫遐好好來親近伊。
It can inspire and move us to draw near to Him.
盼望主伫遐祝福伊嘅話語。
I hope the Lord bless His words.
主毋但是無所不知，
Not only God is omniscient,
伊是無所不在嘅神。
He is omnipresent.
感謝主。
Thank God.
咱即時來額頭三祈禱。
Let us bow our heads in prayer. 主，阮實在感謝你，阮感激你，主，阮所敬拜、所相信的神，那是有無所不知，你也是無所不在的神。主啊，這個實在帶來真大的安慰。主，無管阮到倒落所在，主，你實在佇遐，無管阮咧困，毋知影還是知影你佇遐。主啊，是的，無需要佫行遐。雖然也侪代志會臨到阮，互阮會驚，無管是做還是失敗，還是問題，但是感謝你，你實在佇阮的內面，你永遠甲阮同在。主迄日阮接受你，主你無離開阮。主雖然阮會離開你，但是感謝你，你永袂離開阮。主阮實在何等蒙福的這班人。主毋是阮的罪，毋是阮的失敗，毋是阮的軟弱，叫你有法能離開阮，毋是黑暗，毋是問題，有法能叫阮甲你叫你離開阮。主，阮感謝你，你是永遠甲阮同在。願這個短短的信息，阮實在有法能帶去經驗。你互阮實在有新的明白，有新的經驗，關於這個你這位無所不在的神。主，阮感謝你，榮耀來歸乎你，基督靠主耶穌的名。阿門。